What's up guys, it's Denodon here, and today I am back in Star Citizen, where I'm taking a look at the base model of the constellation, which is this, the Constellation Andromeda. Or to be more specific, this is the business end of the Constellation Andromeda. Now this is the ship that was the one you got if you wanted it to get the game in the Kickstarter, and this was basically, at the time, the big ship. This was the biggest thing you could get. It had all the features, it was, the exclusive. It doesn't hold that place anymore, but it's still one of the better ships. And also, something I'm going to have to mention is that this is the old model. We're expecting a new constellation at some point, which has a completely redone interior. So I'm more doing this video just so you can kind of, get some memories in a couple years time when the full game is out in its entirety, and you can look back and see, oh, do you remember when the constellation used to look like that? But anyway, I'm just going to move in forward now. So we've got the Vtol, flap things there. They open up and there's fans inside. The old Merlin, we've seen the new model for the new one. It looks really nice. This one's multiple engines are gone. They've been replaced by something that looks a bit more like the M50's engines. And of course, it's got proper texture work, not these really flat, ugly textures here. And yeah, so we're going to get out from under the ship and we're going to go round. So, ages ago I did a video in the Constellation Aquila, which was the expensive Explorer variant. This is the multifunction one, so this is the one that will do a bit of everything. It can fight, it can, do some trading, it can do some exploring, it can do whatever. Looking there, just above the engines, about in the center of the screen, you've got missile arms, because this constellation has a lot of missiles. And yeah, so that's something you want to keep in mind. You've got these domes, I don't know what they are. But when I got a physical model of the constellation, one of those domes on the engines had actually come off. I was able to put it back together, but yeah, that's just something I thought that would kind of be interesting, if I could speak, But look, we've got some kind of sensors in here with on that arm. That's another missile arm. So you got some ladders for something next to the airlock. That's something to keep in mind. We can open the cargo bin, of course, but we have to get under it and then get out before it crushes us. So yep, that's the cargo bin. It's basically exactly the same as the Aquila. As you will soon see, the Aquila's interior is basically identical to this one's. So, at least in this original model, I don't know what the new one's going to be, so we're going to have to leave that down because I don't think I can shut that without being on it. But anyway, let's keep moving forward. More Vtol fans here underneath, and got some lights of some sort, I think they are. And then moving forward, you got the cover for the lower turret. If you look up there, you can see there's the turret seat and, the actual bubble thing for it. And then there's the cockpit with the actual projector type screen that, everything is displayed on. So that is the constellation from that side. I quite love the lines of the constellation. I don't know why. It's something that's really sort of iconic, I suppose, and I really like the lines. So just looking at it a bit like that, there you go, just a bit more of an overview. Again, I can't speak today. I don't, don't even try and comment on that. But anyway, let's actually get inside, so get on the ladder, and we'll use it. It's not a ladder, an elevator, you moron. Yep, here we go, we're inside with the old interior. I'm so looking forward to the new one. It has basically a bulkhead here, which actually splits this area up. So you've got this living quarters, you've got the bridge, and then you've got the rear area, so it actually makes the ship feel much nicer, and you'll actually have a rec room. So at the moment all we've got, of course, is this table, if I could remember where the click spot is. Oh, there we go, I had it for a second there. Can I find it again? Come on. Come on. Whoops. I don't know what's going on now, I'm stuck on the table. Did I use... Yep, I dropped the table, and can I move now? I don't know what's happening, I've fallen over? What animation is playing at the moment? I can't get out of my camera, so I can't actually see. But, I'm stuck. I am legitimately stuck, and I can't do anything. Oh, no, now I'm getting up. I think it's playing a pilot animation? I think? Yeah, I think that was playing an animation as if I was actually supposed to be flying or something. Oh, is it actually... It's the sitting animation, that's what it is, see? It's the sitting animation for sitting at the table that was horribly broken and not letting me move. So yeah, let's get up out of the seat. Come on, get up. That's the problem with these animations, they're very slow. So, what can you do about that? Let's move on forward, we're still crouched. You got the pilot seats. where the thing that I love so much about this variant versus the Aquila, this glass cockpit floor right here, you can actually see below the ship, something the Aquila doesn't have for its so-called superior view. So let's get in the captain's seat with his two sticks here. And you'll see they've slightly tweaked the model since we last saw it, but again, this is going to change entirely, so it's not something really to look forward to. But yep, see, I like this one because you can actually see below you when you're flying the thing, which is something you can't do in the Aquila. And of course, you got pretty reasonable view, you know, tarpland all around. You're not going to be dogfighting in this ship despite what some people think, so you know, it's not that big of a deal, I suppose. But anyway, let's get out of the seat and get to one of the turrets. Let's try and get the lower one, shall we? If I can get the button, because that's the problem with this, is it's never really worked all too well. But yeah, we're getting into the turret now. So we go down into this one, and we don't know if this turret's going to change or not for the next variant, or next version of these ship models rather, because some people have been complaining about the visibility, because I mean, this is your visibility in the turret. It's not really ideal, is it? So some people are saying, you know, maybe you should flip upside down or something like that. But if we get outside, you can see that the turret itself seems like it's supposed to extend maybe a little more, but it just isn't at the moment. So that's a bit strange. Also, we've got a new face, I think. Oh, it's looking at his crotch. Don't go there. This isn't one of those sort of channels, but you know. The turret there, oh, we got the big lasers. So it is, I think, supposed to extend down a bit more, but I might be wrong. That's the extension collar there. And you can see the hatches themselves have actually opened, so it's quite a considerable turret when you compare it to, you know, the ship itself, so that's something. But anyway, let's get back inside and let's get out of the turret. So a bit of a glitchy animation, but now we're getting out of the turret, hopefully. So you can see the console sort of parts, and then the chair goes up, and then we end up back on the main deck. So we can move towards the aft section of the ship now, as soon as it lets us. Here we go, and you will see here that this bit is basically identical to the Aquila's. So you open these and you've got, you know, toilet in one, and you've got a shower in the other, with a mirror that's actually a window, which I always thought is interesting. You've got the escape pods slash beds with their very interesting thing, and I didn't mean to get into it, but apparently as soon as I open that I have to get into it as well, which is a bit strange. His fingers going through the wall there, and here in the bed, which I never noticed actually appear to have some sort of display screen, so that's something I suppose. But come on, let's get out of bed. Didn't mean to do that. Come on, dude. That's, like I say, I really hope they speed up these animations, or give the option to speed them up, because they feel way too slow at the moment. But anyway, let's go through, let's open the doors. This is the cargo bay, there's the ramp that we lowered before. Looking at here, this is that airlock that we looked in before. And we'll continue moving aft, past all these boxes that don't really do anything at the moment. And I don't even know what these things are supposed to be, they're just there. And, you know, they're not that good, I suppose. This is where you'd operate the cargo bay from, I'm assuming, which obviously you can't do at the moment. But, oh, the ladder, it says it works, so I'm not going to try it because I want to show the last section first. So this is, of course, the last section. There's the snub fighter down there, which soon, hopefully, will be able to fly. And you've got some sort of new railings they've added, which kind of bracket off this whole reactor system. So, oh, bit of glitching there. I'm just going to leave that alone. You know, caution sign, that's in case of accidental loss of air pressure thing. Let's see, can we go down this or not? We can! So he's just going to go down this ladder, which, you know, is done, and we are standing on what is supposed to be the floor, I think. Except, of course, the floor that isn't, because this is open. So let's close this up and then let's get out. So there we go, that shuts up nicely. Not shuts up as in, you know what I mean. I'm not going to even care to clarify it, I suppose. But there we go, that's all shut. And so there we are, that is the Constellation Andromeda. It is perhaps, I would say, arguably the best of the constellations, simply because you can do the most with it. Or at least we imagine you can do the most with it. We don't know at this point, but I'm sure we will find out soon. But until then, I'm Denodon. This is Star Citizen. Safe landings.